Hi, my name's Martin. I'm from RevCam UK, Reversing Cameras UK Limited. Now today we're going to be looking at the MON705. Now I've got this loaded up with a few cameras. I've got a couple inside this photo cube that we're doing the video from, and I've also got one outside. This is basically our heavy duty 3-channel monitor. It comes with this sort of U-bracket, which obviously you can use as the mounting surface. Obviously it's sort of side mounts, so you've got these sort of pivots on this sort of side mounting points here. If you see any lines throughout this video, they're not there in real life. It's just an effect of videoing an LCD panel. So we'll have a look at the outside camera. So I've just got the normal Sony CCD cameras that we sell plugged in at the moment. So it's nighttime, so I'm working late as usual. So I've got this just temporarily mounted outside our unit. It's got the infrared LEDs. There's a little bit of sort of solar light outside our unit, and as you can see, you're getting a nice picture still. So I'll put it back onto one of the indoor. Sorry, that was channel 1. So we put channel 2. That's one of the ones inside the photo cube. So as you can see, they're touch capacitive buttons. We've used these for loads of years. The monitor has been gradually upgraded over time, so it's not the same as when we first bought it out, but it has been improved each generation. So you've got a lovely sort of picture. It obviously brings out really nice sort of colours. It's got a nice feature where it actually auto dims. So down here there's actually a couple of light sensors. So if I just temporarily cover this up, hopefully you'll be able to see the brightness dim down. And if I take it off, it should start to come back up again. So basically what that does is when you're in a dark cabin, it's going to reduce the light, so it's not too sort of glary as you're driving. I mean, at night time, you find that, it's fairly dark image anyway. You don't have to worry too much. But that auto dim feature is nice. It just reduces the sort of driver distraction and helps to keep you a bit more safe on the road. So it does come with a remote control, but obviously most of the time people just use the buttons on the monitor. It's normally the most simple option. So it comes with a 2-year warranty with us. We're obviously trying to support you for life. We can obviously supply you with spare parts. So if, for example, you've got a couple of vehicles and you just wanted, or you're planning to change vehicle, we can sell you a spare wiring harness, and you can basically, have one on each vehicle, or if you decide to sell the vehicle and want to take the screen, you can just leave the wiring in place and just take the monitor with you and use your new wiring harness. And even after 2 years, we can normally keep these going with sort of low-cost repairs, something that's quite rare nowadays. But we're quite an old-fashioned sort of company in terms of sort of customer care. We're modern in terms of obviously the technology and support and the speed of dispatch and the communication, but we're old-fashioned in terms of sort of other values like that. So if you keep watching this video, we'll obviously go into a few more details, including how to power it up and various alternative bracket options, which will obviously utilise the rear channel of this monitor instead. Right, so wiring up the MON705 monitor for reversing cameras. Alright, so as you'll notice, so I've taken off the sun hood just to make it easier to show you. Alright, so you notice there's a little disconnect point. So inside here there's a little 13-pin plug. You'll notice there's, well, you might not notice depending on how detailed the camera is, but you've got little arrows, so you just line the 2 arrows up, push those together. You've got a 2-meter long lead, which will basically help hide it all behind the head lining. You'll have a little moulding piece, and one part, this is the most important part, splits off. That's your power, so there's a 3 amp blade 3 amp glass fuse inside there, and then that connects in to a little socket. Now these DC sockets, we have a range of plugs and fuse taps to go into this. So standard, you'll have the standard hard wiring, which goes straight to a red and black wire. So I'll just plug that straight back in. But you also have a few other options. So you could choose to use our lighter plug. So the lighter plug would just go straight in there, and then that whole setup will basically power your whole system up. So that's a really easy way to wire up. We do fuse taps. So these fuse taps, we've got the same connector, so we just pop it in. It's a 2 meter long wire, so it gets you to where you need to be on your fuse box. And you'll notice this one's a standard blade, but we also stock mini and micro blades. Normally mini tends to be the most popular nowadays, although a lot of vehicles have a range of both standard and minis. Micro is very rare, normally on a few Ford Transits. But you'll notice there's an earth terminal crimp. Oh, well, not crimp, but you can connect that into any chassis bolt or screw, or obviously make your own chassis bolt or screw, and that's your earth. And then this one, you find a fuse that comes on and off with the ignition. You take it out, you put it into this first part. You see that empty socket. This top one is linked to the red wire coming out of it, and then obviously that red wire goes into the monitor wiring. So that's a nice way to hardwire without having to use crimping tools and soldering irons. They're very, very popular now. Makes it super quick and easy to wire up. A lot of fitters love these too. And if you're in the agricultural trade, this is a new one for us. We got asked to make it, and we try and help out customers as much as possible. I had the corrugated stretchy cable put on, and you'll notice that there's sometimes call these D plugs, like a 3-prong plug that's often fitted to tractors and other agricultural machinery and some of the big lawnmowers that you can ride on and what have you. So that's another option. That's the 3P DC, so quite a new one. The lighter plug is a cab 005, and then the fuse taps, the mini blade is cab 288, the standard blade is cab 289, and then the micro blades are cab 290s. So now we've dealt with the power, we'll have a look at the rest of the wiring. So that power supply powers up the monitor and the cameras. So I've got all 3 cameras in at the moment. So how many you have obviously depends on how many you need. But these will have the 4-pin aviation connectors. So we prefer this type of connection. We've used it for years. Now it seems to have become the dominant in the reversing camera industry, which I'm pleased to hear, because obviously that's the most durable. Really robust connection. Even you've got it outside in freezing conditions, it's not going to be broken to pieces and split apart. It's got the O-rings inside, which when compressed, when you screw it up, give a nice watertight seal. Now I'll just bring this monitor back into play. So just to show the trigger wires. So you'll notice there's 3 coloured wires. Don't be scared, you don't have to connect them all. You don't even have to connect one if you don't want to. But these are basically little trigger wires you can use to automatically change channel. So for instance, let's look for the one labelled channel 1. There you go. So it's got little labels that say which channel number they're connected to. So we apply a current, you'll notice it's now changing, and obviously channel 1 had the external camera into it. So we'll take it off. So if you're already got the monitor loaded up, it would obviously, change channel. If you've got the monitor off, it would actually turn the monitor on and select the channel that the trigger wire is connected to, which obviously in this case was channel 1. And then it will go back off once you remove that power. So very, very useful. So I'll just manually toggle it back on. So that's pretty much it. You can either choose to use the hard wiring, just provide it with a power supply from your choice. Obviously, connecting it up, just plugging in your extension cable to the cameras, and then optionally adding a sort of reverse trigger or whatever trigger wires you want to add, and then it will all be loaded up. You want a different bracket? Well, that's no problem. Right. Not everyone's keen on this style bracket. Not everyone's got a nice flat area on the dashboard. So if we take this off, it's quite a simple process. We unscrew the two side adjustments. The thumb. Hopefully this one's, that's just about doable with my hands without reaching for an Allen key. So there you go. Make sure I don't lose these screws. There we go. Right, so it's as simple as that. We've now got access to this rear bracket. Now this rear bracket will fit any of our range of mounts designed for that stand style vehicle monitor. Now we've got, this one is the suction mount, so this one, it's got a little protector still, but this one is designed to stick onto your windscreen. Now with all suction mounts, it's not a permanent fixture, but it is surprising how long it does last before you need to remake the suction again. So that's the ACC 038. This is your heavy duty fan style dashboard mount, the ACC 705B, and you'll notice it's got a ball joint in it. This means you've got lovely big range of motion, twist it about, do whatever you want. And it's got a lovely 3M adhesive pad on the base, and you've also got some holes should you wish to secure it with some self-tappers or some other method of maybe a bolts or however you want really. Now this looks similar, but it's actually a quick release bracket. Same again, it's got the self-adhesive pad. Now this has a piece that attaches to the rear channel, and once it's on the back you'll be able to slot it down and it will click into place, and really is hard until you press that thumb switch and then it pops off. And then this is the most simple, it's the ACC 035, we call it the butterfly mount, because look, it's got some lovely butterfly wings, if you can imagine it, and this has got the self-adhesive pad, so just peel that back. Now all of these are actually bendable to a point. You can also cut them down slightly, even with a pair of scissors. Basically trim them so they fit your dash perfectly. This one finally is the ACC 20540. So it's the ceiling brackets. They're designed to fit up onto maybe a bit of plastic trim or up onto the sort of head lining if it's strong enough. So it's got a swan neck. So you use a thumb screw and you can twist it left and right. We'll loosen it up a bit more. Right, it's a bit more free now. Right, so, and then you've also got a ball joint. So you're able to get all that range of motion. You can twist it, really position the monitor just how you like it. So what I'll do is I'll pop a few of these on, starting in no particular order. I'll go with this one. This is one that lots of people recognise. It's often given as free with a lot of monitors. If you haven't got the sort of heavy duty U bracket with a monitor, very often it comes with a butterfly style mount. So I'll just put it into a rear bracket there. I'll just tighten it up. So that's what it would look like. Obviously, if you could put the sunshade on, and what I'll do is I'll slide this up a little bit. It helps to give that adjustment down there. So that's what it will look like from the rear. That's what it would look like from the front. Obviously, if you want it to sit down a bit lower, just release that slightly, and there you go. You've got it down closer to the dashboard. Takes up less sort of your sort of doesn't distract your viewer as much. So we'll just remove that, slide it off. So that's your little ACC 035 butterfly style bracket. We'll stick with the dash mounts to begin with. So this is probably one of my more preferred for the MON705 monitor. Literally is just slide it in, twist this little wheel at the back, tighten it up nice and tight, and there you go. To make adjustments to the ball joint, there you go. You can literally have it any angle you want. If you had it up against a wall, you'd be able to hold it like this. Most people have it down towards the dash area, but it really is flexible. And what I'll do is I'll take this down slightly just to make it a little bit easier to get some of the adjustments. There. So that's a very popular bracket with this style monitor. That's a heavy duty. So I'll just remove that. So removing it is just a matter of releasing that thumb wheel and then taking off. So it's still almost like a quick release bracket in a way. Talking of quick release brackets, this is the one. So I just realised that I haven't got a screwdriver here. Bear me 1 second and I'll just grab a screwdriver just so we can put it on and tighten up from the rear. Back again. That was quicker than I thought. So I'll quickly loosen this up. Now, probably need to loosen it up a little bit more. There we go. So I won't put it up too much just to make sure I get a good adjustment. Now you'll notice it's on there. As I say, I haven't tightened it up too much. If I was doing it more permanently, I'd take a bit more time over it. So you got the little adjustment. You can also twist it left and right. No, I need to release it a bit first. So with it released, you can obviously twist it left and right. And then I'll put it back to center, just looks a little bit better for the video. So once it's there, you notice it's rock solid. It's a shame I haven't got this secured against a surface. But you literally just pull that thumb switch, let go, and that monitor's off. And then when you're ready to put it back on, there, just absolutely rock solid. And then release again. Nice and easy. Really confirming lock that you're not going to be worried about that coming off accidentally. Really nice bracket, the ACC 041. So I'll just remove this quickly so we can show the next one. So just put that back on so it's there for next time. So another way of putting it in is actually just to take that square washer out and slide it up the channel and then find it and then just screw into it. I did it the different way. So we've got, I think this is the last one actually. So the ACC 20540. So the end looks similar to the ACC 705B. It's that same ball joint and then constant fixed sort of groove to fit in the back here. So all we have to do is just slide it in and tighten up from the rear. And then let's just release that and then tighten it. So there you can see. So you could have it up on the ceiling. Let me just adjust it slightly. So a lot of people like this up a bit closer to the ceiling, like that. So that's how most people have it. I've even seen people actually mount these down onto the dashboard and say how nice it is. A really good quality. You know, everyone's always surprised at how durable and heavy duty these are. That's what we like. We like heavy duty. We like things that don't break. So always worth paying a little bit extra, and sometimes, to be honest, we're a lot cheaper. But we pay the extra, and we prefer people to come back because they're looking for quality. So you've gone through all the different mounts there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. So controlling the monitor is very simple. So turning on and off is just using the standby icon. So you're changing channel is just selecting your channel or using that trigger wire we discussed earlier. If you press the menu button, it just goes between the various adjustments. So if we go to brightness, you could turn that up and down using the up and down arrows. And pressing it again takes you to contrast. Again, you can adjust it up and down. And then you get to one that says color. Note the proper English spelling, not the Americanized English spelling like you normally find. Next one is volume. Now this is only applicable should you have a camera with a microphone. We don't have many cameras, but if you did want a camera with a microphone, get in contact. I've got one in channel 2 at the moment, so you'll notice that as it gets closer you'll get the old feedback, but keep the speaker and the microphone away from each other and you'll be okay. So the quick way of turning it back down is actually to press this button. So we'll get back onto that screen. Next one it says zoom 16:9. Basically you can either take it to a square image or 16:9. We recommend that one. And then you got one that says TCON, LDRDRULU. Now on this one it literally rotates the screen, does a horizontal flip or a vertical flip. Most people leave it on this where it just says TCON, but you'll notice that the text actually goes back to front and all around at the same time. This is useful if you're trying to unmirror a mirror image camera, but be aware that it obviously does change all 3 channels, not individually. And then, oops, I just put that back, and then we press the menu again. ACC time. Now this is to do with your trigger wires. So if you had let's say a side indicator light, you wouldn't want it flashing on and off. So I'd probably give it either 2 seconds or 5 seconds ACC time, and that's the amount of seconds it'll stay on that channel after it's been triggered. So ideal for when you've got the indicator lights. Now this is the language. If you've got grandkids that like to press buttons, you might end up having to learn Spanish. But basically, if you get onto that screen, all you have to do is just keep pressing the arrow button until you see English again. So I'll just go through. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if ever you find yourself in a strange language, press the menu button 8 times and just keep pressing the arrow keys until you find one that says English, and you'll be okay. We get that question every now and then. We do like to just let you know how to get it back nice and simply. So that's all the controls you need to know. Very, very simple monitor, easy to use.